flowing beneath their feet. Yet, for their sins we destroyed them and raised in their wake fresh generations to succeed them. That process goes on and on and on. Allah will raise up a people, and they will not be like the people who were neglectful and who did not take lightly this life. You only get this, come through this one time only. And that's enough to establish our rank in the next life. See, 124,000 prophets, they didn't come to us to teach us about this life. They came to teach us about the life we were going to, because when we were in that womb, Allah Almighty sent it's not one angel, it's a different angel. For every time that is someone born, there is a different angel that brings the soul of that person with their program. A different angel. Never the same. Always a different angel bringing a soul to a new individual. As many individuals that are on the planet, that is the number of angels that came to each individual to bring their soul while they were in the womb of their mother. And Allah Almighty wants us to, the whole point of that is that Allah Almighty wants us to know of a power within ourselves, because He's hidden. And Allah is hidden that power in us. Allah says He's the Lord of the heavens and on earth. If Allah Almighty says that the heavens and the earth cannot contain Him, but the hearts of the believers can contain Him, how is He in the heavens and on the earth? How is that? And we don't think of that. You know, everything must have a base. Even if you take a bullet and you shoot it out the gun, a bullet by itself is nothing without that shell. The bullet is packed inside of that shell, so when the hammer hits the back of the bullet, it shoots out the bullet, the shell falls down, and the bullet hits its target. Everything must have a base. Are we standing or are we sitting? In order for us to stand, there must be a base in which we stand on. If we're going to sit, there must be a base in which we sit upon. What is that base? The whole purpose of Allah Almighty sending 124,000 prophets to warn human beings, what is that base that you are sitting on? What is that base that you are standing on? What is the reason for you being created? Now, it's amazing now, from east to west, north to south. Atheists, everybody, Jews, Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, everybody, black, white, red, yellow, brown, they are beginning to ask the question, who am I? Why was I created? Regardless of what their belief is. And because at some point in time, we have to think, wait a minute, not so long ago, I was in the womb of my mother. Well, those questions could not come unless those questions were programmed in us. We don't think the right thoughts because we are genius to think the right thoughts. We think the right thoughts because they have been programmed in us. Allah Almighty told Adam and Eve, I will never leave you without guidance. Only because we don't understand the being this being that we are able to be tricked and trapped by something inferior to us, so that when we're on our deathbeds, we are crying out to our Lord, "Oh my Lord, forgive me." And we should have been doing that in our lives. Why get serious about your life when you're getting ready to lose it? What sense does that make? Dedicate your health and your wealth to your presence, so that Allah Almighty will give it back to you. But we can only do that once we understand why we are here. What is that base in which we sit upon? What is that base in which we stand upon? Everybody must have a base. Is that base a title? Is that base wealth? Is that base fame? Is that base a husband or wife or children? Is that base the president, the governor, the mayor, the alderman? What title gives that base? Where's that base? If you take a flower, a seed, you have no earth to plant it in. It has no base in which to grow from. It's just a seed. To build a house, if there's no foundation to build a home, a house, or to plant anything, then it can never grow. If there was no base for that sperm drop to be seeded in the womb of our mother, to be hatched in fertilization and for 9 months, we could not even come, our physical body could not have come here. So we are in need of a base. But what is the base of our purpose in this life? The world from east to west, north to south, is in so much chaos. In paradise, there was no such thing as killings. There was no such things as the things that we see and experience now. What happened? It must be something very, very serious about being here, and it must be something very, very serious about how we should live when we're here. If we are paradise people, and when we were in paradise, there was nothing that we lacked. There was no place we could not go. We didn't need passports. We didn't need cars. We didn't need airplanes. We didn't need computers. We didn't need food. We didn't need drink. All we needed was our Lord. That sustained us. That's all we relied on. What has happened? Don't you know the biggest tragedy is what we see in ourselves and around ourselves? It was like if we really understood what has happened to us, we would cry more than we laugh. It is a tragedy, an abomination, that what has happened to us, that we have fallen so far from a high position because we've lost our base. We cannot even grow and develop because we have no base. We really had a base. We would not only do what our Lord wants us to do, but we will be as our Lord likes us to be. Can you imagine what that would be like?